UFC Fight Night Atlantic City. What a weird freaking card. Let's talk about it. Jacob Malkoun versus Petroski. You guys know how Conor McGregor has a titanium shin bone? I guess Jacob Malkoun has a titanium hip because when Petroski failed to single leg and hit his head on his hip, he was out. Like, I know the hip's a pretty hardy point, but this is a man who's taken many of punches, probably many of knees in sparring and fights, and he got KO'd by a hip. So this is the weirdest guy I've ever seen. He was just done. Nate Landwehr versus Jamal Emmers. Man, Jamal Emmers was outclassing, picking apart Landwehr. He rocked him bad with the straight right hand, like Landwehr was on one knee. But Nate, the train, just like a train, kept chugging forward, never gave up, kept clinching with him, striking him, and then he catches Jamal Emmers with a beautiful uppercut, knocks him out. Honestly, I don't think Nate Landwehr deserves someone in the rankings, but another fun one outside the rankings. Nelson versus Bill Algeo. This is a great fight. Both guys were swinging with intentions to hurt each other at the start, just swinging and banging, no defense necessary. And they actually hurt each other multiple times, but at one point, Kyle Nelson catches Bill Algeo. Algeo is basically out on his feet, but when the ref stops it, he's like walking backwards, man. Like, I get it if Bill Algeo took like 50,000 shots like Chris Martino did versus O'Malley, but it was only the first round, man. I think the ref should have waited longer. I'm not going to call it like the worst stoppage ever, but I would say not a great one. Okay, our earliest ancestor, Nursultan Ruziboev, gets the KO versus Dumas. Early on the fight, Dumas was putting the pressure on Nursultan, but he was getting countered with like 5 nice uppercuts. Then into the mid of the round, Ruziboev pokes him in the right eye. Dumas protests the ref and starts complaining, but I guess the ref either didn't believe him or didn't notice. So then Nursultan catches him with the right hand, follow-up shots, then KOs him. I mean, it sucks that it happened, but like, if I'm not gonna say I'm like a fighter or anything, but you would think a fighter would like protect themselves and like understand that the ref won't step in every time. So I guess that's all we can say. The next fight I want to see Nursultan Ruziboev fight is Joe Pyfer. These guys are both unranked. Joe Pyfer had his chance versus a ranking guy, Jack Hermanson, so he should fight up-and-comer Nursultan Ruziboev. I know he eye-poked him, but man, he was looking good with the uppercuts. He has big power. He's had like 40 pro fights and he's only 30, so two young prospects, see who takes out one another. Weidman versus Bruno Silva. The All-American is back with no controversies. Just kidding. But before we talk about the fight, can we talk about how Bruno Silva makes 0 sense? This dude went to war with Alex Pereira, ate all of his best shots, and made a close decision with them. He also knocked out Brad Tavares, right? But now he's gotten completely outclassed by Shar Magomedov. And before we get into the eye pokes, he was losing the fight to Chris Weidman. In the first round, Chris Weidman controlled him with like a body lock. In the second round, Chris Weidman was just completely outboxing him, landing kicks to the body. And yeah, Bruno Silva landed some shots, but nothing really damaging to Chris Weidman. Man, I don't understand Bruno Silva, man. He's really inconsistent. But let's talk about the main issue. Chris Weidman poked him like 4 times in the eyes. The issue is that I guess when he's trying to get his range, he sticks his fingers out. I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but I guess that's what led to him. And then the finishing sequence, which I think we all thought was a knockout punch, it was a 1-2 eye poke, which sucks. And I mean, Weidman was looking good, not exactly his prime self, but it went to a decision, so I think it was fair. Chris Weidman was absolutely outskilling him. The next person I want to see Chris Weidman fight is Albert Raev. Let's be real, Chris Weidman, he's not going to go on a championship run. I'm not even sure if he'll beat a ranked opponent, but Albert Raev's a solid fighter. He's not necessarily very dangerous. He doesn't have a lot of KO power, but he's a skilled fighter, so if Chris Weidman can beat him, I guess we can still say that Chris Weidman's still decent, but I don't know, why not just set this up? Alright, Bruno Silva, I want him to fight Marc-Andre Barriault because we've seen Bruno Silva. He's clearly just not elite. I guess the Alex Pereira thing was a fluke because he got just dominated by Shar Magomedov on the feet and he didn't look good versus Chris Weidman. So he doesn't deserve necessarily anyone in the rankings. And Marc-Andre Barriault, he's a good fighter. He's very durable. So I guess if Bruno Silva can beat him, he'll still be good. But let's just set this. This will be a fun stand-up match. Vicente Luque versus Joaquin Buckley. What the hell was Vicente Luque doing? First round, right? Back and forth close. Vicente was landing some good body kicks, landing some good jabs. Buckley was throwing a lot of big power shots. He was looking pretty good. And then in the second round, Luque went in for a takedown and he failed. He had like a single leg and then he went for like a body lock, right? For some reason, he then pulls guard, right? When I first saw this, I'm like, okay, that's a bit weird. But, you know, Vicente Luque has a decent amount of submissions, right? So maybe he's going to try to go for a triangle, armbar, something like that. I don't know what he does. He just says his feet on his hips, Buckley's hips, right? He doesn't try to sweep. He doesn't try to go to full guard. He doesn't threaten a submission. He doesn't even kick. I don't understand what he was doing. He was just standing there. Buckley's a big dude, man. So when he's throwing these power shots, they're hurting him. And then he eventually gets finished. I honestly have zero idea what Vicente Luque's plan was. I honestly don't know if he'll still keep fighting, because that's not the Vicente Luque that we all know. A guy that goes to wars, that would never quit, man. He genuinely quit. Booking Buckley's next fight should absolutely be Gilbert Burns. Let me explain. There's multiple reasons why. Alright, Vicente Luque is ranked number 11, so Buckley takes his spot, right? Gilbert Burns is number 6, so 5-spot ranking makes sense for Buckley to go up to fight for. And then Gilbert Burns is Vicente Luque's very close friend and training partner. So Gilbert Burns can make up and get revenge for Vicente Luque. And the only Buckley said in one comment, he called out Gilbert Burns. So that's 3 different reasons why this should be made. And this could for sure be a fight night headliner. So let's make this. All right, Vicente Luque, let's be real. I don't have any faith in becoming a contender anymore for the title. But he could still be a fun guy. Kevin Holland always put on fun fights. So get these 2 together. It should be a fun stand-up banger. Aaron Blanchfield versus Manon Fiorot. One of the most boring fights I've seen. The first round was actually kind of exciting because Blanchfield almost had the guillotine, but then Blanchfield just ate a million check hooks from Manon Fiorot. She didn't really go for a single or double leg, just clinching. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I turned this fight off after the 4th round. I could not watch the whole thing. It was just no action, man. Just a bunch of pitter-pat shots. Give Blanchfield, I don't know, give her Macy Barber, give Manon the title shot. It is what it is. Okay, that was my recap and the fights to make after. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.